On Sal Caiozzo, running as a Republican for the 2nd congressional seat here in Rhode Island. We're going to talk a little bit about why we're up here today. There are a number of gun bills before the General Assembly. We're usually here Thursdays, but we came for a special Tuesday edition to talk about the issues facing the Assembly. But before we talk, just wanted to let viewers know, if you go on GoLocal, we just broke the story. Warwick Mayor Scott Abedizian heading to RIPTA to head up the agency. He'll leave his post in Warwick, and you can read more about it on GoLocal. But nothing's more local than what's taking place here at the State House today. We'll talk a little bit about the campaign, but what brings you here, the specific gun legislation that you've got concerns about?
Okay, to begin with, I'd like to thank you for having me here, and I'd like to say hello to all your audience. Biggest thing I'm here for, well, we have a Second Amendment. It's a constitutional right. We can't really let that go away, nor can it go away, actually, the way that it was written, such as the shall not be infringed part of it. And I'm here to show support to the whole Second Amendment community.
And let's talk a little bit. There's specific bills today that we'll be talking with some legislators about carrying rights and other issues as well. But let's talk a little bit about that red flag bill that was approved by the House recently, now moving to the Senate side. If you could possibly see behind us, we do have the Second Amendment Coalition just located right behind us here, folks turning out with their concerns. What are your concerns about the red flag legislation?
Totally unconstitutional. Needs probable cause. Actually, the ACLU talked against it. They actually, I believe what's going to happen with it is what happened to the domestic abuse bill from last year.
Okay.
That's actually coming back to the State House to reword because the judges just can't do anything with it. I really believe the same thing's going to happen with this. I mean, it's a feel-good bill, but it needs a lot of work.
Okay, the red flag legislation. What about bump stocks?
Bump stocks, to me, they're a gimmick. I've already been on air about it. I think they're dangerous myself, and I think it's just a toy.
So you believe that there is some room to look at some issues within the gun realm and the gun bills that there's debate on going on right now?
Well, the room that can be looked at, for instance, on that toy, the other bills that they have with the high capacity rounds, the AR-15s and all sorts of other type of firearms. Well, do you really believe that taking these away are going to stop criminals from doing what they're doing? Do you?
Well, there's lots of folks turned out. We'll show you the number of yellow shirts here at the State House. Again, bills before House Judiciary as well. So when folks talk about the gun issue and the gun violence in the country, what needs to be done as you're running for Congress?
I think both sides need to come together. I think we need to talk. I think there needs to be a big debate about this, and a positive one, not a negative one. Taking away firearms is not going to fix anything. We already saw this with the war on drugs. You have black markets for drugs, people making lots of money. It'll be just another way. You know, if you're afraid of someone drowning, you don't ban water. And if you're afraid of someone being burnt, you don't ban fire either. It just doesn't make sense where law-abiding citizens have to pay for this and then at the end of the day be criminalized because they have their rights.
Are you going to be testifying today?
I most certainly am.
And talk with us on the campaign trail because, again, running for the 2nd Congressional District, what are you hearing from constituents pertaining to guns?
I'm hearing a lot of people saying, well, my opponent's been there too long. A lot of people are liking my ideas and ideals as well. I mean, we got together a couple of years ago, I think, with the bus issue, for instance.
We did.
Want to bring that up because you were a great help with it. I'm here to help the people. I'm here to help the people of Rhode Island, my constituents, the veterans, the elderly, the handicapped. I mean, I'm just ready to roll up my sleeves and go to town.
Is the state heading in the right direction?
I think so. I think it is. I think it is next year.
After
right
the
now,
election year.
yeah. But anyway, I really think if we make a change, whether it be here in the General Assembly and Senate as well as in the federal government, I think that we can crawl out of what we're in.
And you're focused clearly on D.C., on Congress as your role running now as a candidate. But what do you think are really going to be the deciding factors in the governor's race? I mean, you're here in the state, you hear from the constituents. What do you think for the governor's race are going to be the deciding factors?
That's going to be a little tough. I mean, the Republican side, we have a lot of great candidates. And may the best person win at this point for the primary. I do think that people of Rhode Island are tired. I think that they're tired of being the fourth most tax burdened in the state, or in the country, I'm sorry. And also being almost last place for business. I mean, that's just wrong. We need to grow our job rates here in our own state, and we're not helping them.
Well, I know you've got to get off to testify. Again, folks are really starting to pour into the State House here, which is why GoLocal is up here today. Anything you want to leave the viewers with before you take off?
Yeah, actually, I do. I've been working at this since 2016, actually. Ran then and never stopped running. And I have my daughter who's been watching me and saw what I've been doing, and she said, you know what, you motivated me, Dad. She's going to be running. Her name's Sal Caiozzo, same last name. She's going to be running District 24 for the House seat. She's filed a CF1 yesterday. I'm very proud of her.
Okay. Catching the political bug, we're keeping an eye on all things campaigns. We're keeping an eye on the gun bills here today at the State House and moving forward. Sal Caiozzo, I appreciate your taking the time to come on live today.
Thank you very much.
We'll let you go. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our next guest here, live from the State House.